And so you have to realize that in order to create a better future for everybody, we in large enough numbers are going to have to unsubscribe from manipulation, bigotry, supremacy, patriarchy, misogyny, using manipulation and oppression to get what you want. Because while in the short term, yes, that kind of way of being the stealing, killing, and destroying, the thing that the religions can't get out of human beings, and they're just wholly unsuccessful at. You got a few people out there. You've got a few people who internalize the deconstruction that the religions are asking you to do, which is to deconstruct out of one's way of thinking into another way of thinking. And some people get it. But religion within itself is a bad tool for changing humanity. It is a bad tool. If you having thought leaders who teach a body of information, which then people can access, and then use that to ameliorate their existence is good. But using these manipulated deities, these hijacked, co-opted, fully exploited, capitalized, commoditized, imperialized, colonized, the stuff that I teach you on my channel, deities and religions, is just reinforcing the upside down. That's what happens in the upside down. That's how things are maintained. That's why the rich love conservatism and they fight to get everybody to be right on a conservative, because they want the systems that make them rich to stay the same. But back to, let's see if we can land this one. In order to reverse the upside down, in order to create a heaven on earth, that exists for all people. Okay. You don't need homogeneity, like the sameness of thinking amongst all people, because part of what will take the world in which you are living from out of being an upside down is diversity of thought, and a diversity in an ever increasing understanding and perception of reality. Okay, because people aren't perceiving reality, because people are still trying to use oppression, manipulation, lies, greed, and things of that nature in order to better their own present. Bettering your own present through manifestation, meaning, it's like genies, right? Just bear with me. Many genie stories, where you go, you find the lamp, and you rub the lamp and the genie comes out and the person will say, well, I want you to make someone else love me. And the genie will uniformly say, I can't do that. That's not something that I can do. I can't help you to force yourself on somebody else. Right? Well, manifestation is the same way. Same way. It's not something, prayer is the same way. Should not be saying a prayer, asking for help from whatever state of existence or entity that you're asking it from. You should not be asking that entity to help you to force yourself on someone else. This is what Christians are getting wrong. It's what Christian nationalists get wrong. And it's what religious legalistic people, no matter whether it's the Abrahamic religions or whatever, when they are trying to force themselves on others, right? Whether they're going to essay the mind or essay the body, it's all wrong. And that's not the point of that tool or mechanism, to be able to use someone else's power, or not just something or someone else's power, but the power of the individual over themselves. You're not supposed to use that to overcome and to force yourself on. Because you're like, how can you use someone else's power to, 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 over how can you use someone else's power, like their own ability to have control over themselves, to help you to overcome themselves? That's exactly what people do, is that they lie to you and they manipulate you and they get you to believe in whatever they're saying or thinking, or whatever they want you to do. They get you to subscribe to their, whatever they want, or to achieve what they want. And then they get you to give up your life. I don't know if you understand how reality works, but to give up your life in service of their ideals. That is a common manipulation tactic. I may just do a series on manipulation just for people who need free resources, right? Right? Because many people are going on to like AI and they're suffering from psychosis because they haven't done their own work within themselves to know who they are, what they need, where they're trying to get to, how they think, and their minds aren't mature enough. And you can be 50 something and not have a mature mind. It's just it's the folly of being a human in a region of the world in which education isn't free. But anyway, it's one of the common scams and forms of manipulation is just to get you to give up your present life. It's what those two videos in which I was talking about, like, hey, heaven is a form of, and this is a shorthand way to say what I was saying in 20 minutes. Heaven getting you to give up your present life and service in obedience to a master, a job, a society, capitalism, serving a president or whatever, getting a king, getting yourself to, or serving a religion, getting yourself to give up your present life in service of those things, so that you can get into heaven. And then heaven that you don't really know how it exists, what it exists as, what that is, all you have is you have what people say that they think it is. Like giving your present human life, getting you to give that up in exchange for some form of eternal existence in a blissful state. It seems, in the short term, it seems to a finite mind, a person who's sitting in flesh, right? Giving up your human existence in the service of the goals and the belief system that you're being taught, right? To lose your identity. People keep saying, I'm Christian before I'm Black. I'm Muslim before I'm Black. I am this before I'm this before I'm human. I'm a slave to God. What they don't really realize is that because they refuse to actually do any real research, they are a slave to the cult of whatever version of the religious system. Like the cult of current Christianity, they think that being a slave to the cult of current Christianity is what is required for them to get a future in heaven. And they think that if I just do this short-term thing and I slave myself out to what is historically a co-opted, imperialized, colonized, enslaved, like you literally are worshiping an enslaved creator and like a version, an enslaved creator and an enslaved savior, who, because this God and this savior have been enslaved for the purposes of empire, colonization, whatever rich person wants to use it. Pretty soon you guys are going to be preaching the gospel of Peter Thiel. If Peter Thiel is able to fully hijack apocalyptic beliefs in Christianity, he's hijacking it. It's what if you are the Antichrist, if you were the devil, you would do. You don't fight the belief system. Rome is epic at it. Epic. A very good example. You don't fight the Christianity. You co-opt it, you bastardize it, you make it serve you. You slave out its God and you slave out the Savior who you annihilated, who you crucified. And then you make those who believe that stuff to form an allegiance with you through the